can watch me.
Okay.
Tiffany here. This is gonna be my comeback video.
Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is the first video on this channel. Just a little backstory on me. My name's Tiffany. I'm 20 years old. I was born January 18th in Australia and I turned 21 soon, which is crazy. But I've been doing social media for the longest time, since like elementary school. It's just always been a passion of mine, creating videos, being an influencer. And so I started this channel because God really put on my heart to start this podcast, and I think I can do some good from this podcast. And for this video, I'm gonna be sharing my testimony to start it off, because ever since getting closer with God and everything, I just want to share my faith. It's a big part of my life. It's just so important, and yeah. All I really want to do is inspire others. I want to help others. I want to motivate others and use my gifts for the glory of God. If you're watching this right now, the case could be for you that you know that there has to be a God out there somewhere, or you just know and believe that there is a God, but you don't truly know who God is. Or you could have had to have heard the story of Jesus Christ dying on the cross and saving us from our sins, but have kind of pushed it off to the side, or just heard about it, but hasn't really like learned the like depth of it. Or some of you could even be like, how could there be a God out there if this world is filled with so much pain and suffering? And not gonna lie, I think we all have those doubts. I think we all have those feelings at times when, if we've ever gone through something like so traumatic, you'd be like, how the heck is there even a God? Like, how is there a God if this is happening to me right now, or happening in the world around me? Sometimes it just makes no sense. But when you truly get to know him, when you build that relationship with him, learn who Jesus Christ is, that's when a lot of things start making sense. But anyways, I don't want to yap too much. I'm gonna try my best to not get so off topic or anything, because I'm known to do that. I'm really bad at explaining things, so I'm gonna try my best. I pray that God will speak through me and help me articulate my words the right way. And so the reasoning for this channel being called The Voice in the Candlelight is because that is the title of my testimony, because my testimony got put in this magazine journal in my mom's writers group. It came to be Voice in the Candlelight, which I really loved, and it kind of explains why my testimony, but let's just get started. I've always known about God. I always knew there had to be something out there listening when I talked to myself. But was I really just talking to myself? Growing up, my family was deeply involved in church. It felt like our second home. We made lifelong friends there, and even though I was young, I didn't fully understand the purpose of it all. What stayed with me was the sense of love, belonging, and joy in worship. I vaguely remember those wild Sunday school stories, like Jonah being swallowed by that big fish for 3 nights and 3 days. But as a kid, I pictured it like a cartoon. It left an impression. Even then, I was learning right and wrong, good and bad, kindness, and following the rules. But honestly, it was all surface level for me. Church was just part of our Sunday routine. Now fast forward, after graduating from high school, I didn't have a clear plan for my life. I still don't. And I loved making videos and posting on social media. I dreamed about being an influencer, showing the best moments of my life on YouTube. But even with that dream, I felt like I was meant for something more. College never really felt like a right path. So I worked, traveled, kept trying to figure out where I fit. Then came this Destin trip, it was a weekend getaway with my mom's Bible study group that was planned for early October of 2024. So there were people that came from all over to spend time together. And one night we sat in a circle talking about God and listening to what he might say. I'll be honest, I felt awkward and unsure about the whole thing, but that's when the main pastor came to me and my sisters. He said he sensed I felt stuck, directionless, and disappointed in myself, which was true. Then he said something that stopped me, that God had direction for me, and that I wasn't a loser, and I'm gonna get emotional, sorry, and that I wasn't a loser, and that I didn't have to believe that voice inside telling me I was. He said no one should, and you shouldn't either, because everyone has that voice inside their head where sometimes you feel like what are you doing? Like, sometimes you feel like you don't have a purpose, or you're just lost in this world, and it's okay. It's okay, because sometimes people never figure it out, and that's okay, because that's just how life is, especially being in a fallen world that we live in. And so he continued and said I just needed to trust the Lord and his plans. He also described a vision. He said he'd seen a dark room with a candlelight and a piece of paper and a feather pen. Then he asked if I liked to write. I froze because during that time, writing at night when everyone else was asleep had become my secret comfort. It felt like he knew something no one else could have known, unless it really was from God. In that moment, it felt like God himself was speaking to me. I was completely blown away. I couldn't stop thinking about that night, and I literally was breaking down. Me and my sisters, we were like all together, like breaking down, and it was just so surreal. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's like the most relieving feeling, because then in that moment it's like, wow, God is real. Like, he's there and he knows us. And so it was the first time I felt a real connection with God. Not just an idea of him anymore, but something personal. I still didn't have everything figured out, but after that I started going to church again with my close friend Ariana, and for the first time I truly enjoyed it. It wasn't just about me anymore, it was something greater, and eventually I felt this pull to really know Jesus and to really get to know him. I started watching The Chosen, which is a really good like visual representation of Jesus and his disciples and like kind of like his story, so I totally recommend that show, The Chosen. But yeah, I started watching that and it changed me. More so a visual learner, so seeing his life portrayed helped me connect with him deeply. It wasn't just a story anymore, it was a relationship. Not long after, one Sunday at church, I opened my heart to Jesus in a way I never had before. That moment changed everything. Since then, my perspective has completely shifted. It's not just knowledge, it's real. I began to truly feel him, not just understand him, but encounter him. His presence touched me in a way that I never felt before. He touched my heart, reshaped my desires, brought me to tears, and led me into a new kind of life. It's not just something I know about anymore, it's someone I know. And that is my testimony. It's just a lot. It is a lot. It's a lot to like comprehend at times, and to like hard to like explain. Yeah, that's basically my testimony. Now that I'm not like reading off that paper anymore, I want to like deeply like talk to you guys about it. With me, I feel like we all have that sense of like there's something out there listening to us right now. This whole earth, the world you live in, the life you live right now, there is a purpose, there's a reason for it. And I mean, everyone has a right to their opinion, everyone has a right to their spirituality and faith, and that's the beauty of it, because God gives us free will. He's such a loving and caring God that he gives us free will, and so we are free to choose him or not. That would probably be a whole nother video, because that's a whole thing to get into. This next part, I want to get into the experiences I've had with God. And for me, I would call myself a Christian, but I hate the terms religion. I hate the term, or I dislike, sorry, like just the term religion. It's just, I feel like it's just so controversial these days. It is made so heavy and controversial. What the important thing that I've learned is having that relation, just having the relationship with Christ, having the relationship with God. Since I started getting into the show The Chosen, and I started like seeing Jesus's like life portrayed and everything, who he really was. And so in the Bible, the Gospel of John is where Jesus says, I am the way, truth, and the life. No one can come to the Father except through me. Yeah, and so like before that encounter that I had with God, like that real encounter that like really touched me for the first time with God, when I went to that Destin trip, before that I would see clips of like Bryce Crawford, you know, just like clips of people preaching and talking about Jesus. Even though I did grow up in church, my family is very like faith driven and everything. That's like a big part, because that's how I grew up. And it's just so sad to me when I see things like people who has been hurt so much. They call it church hurt. A lot of cases where people kind of like reject God or don't even want to like go to God because of the church and because of the people mainly. And so it's Sunday, by the way, and the church service I had earlier today, they were talking about, don't put your faith in people, but put your faith in the creator of the people, your creator. Because why are we sitting here idolizing other people and idolizing stuff like in this world when we should be looking to the higher power. We should be looking to God because he created us. So that's how to learn to know God, is through Jesus. Learn about Jesus and his life in the gospel and read the Bible. The Bible is it's a lot. I didn't understand in the beginning because when I started, I started with going on my Bible app and they would have like verse of the days, and I started that before this whole like encounter and stuff. I started just writing down the Bible verses on my Bible app. It can start by something small like that, and then they would have like devotionals afterwards, and then they would have these like clips of people explaining what the quotes would mean and everything. I started with that, and for Christmas, I think of last year, I got my Bible, like my first like real Bible that I've been able to read. Ever since then, I have been Bible studying, getting in the Word. So important. Getting in his Word is how you can connect with him the most. I feel like about my experiences, which I think are very important to share. Like some of you are probably thinking like, I don't hear God. Like how can you hear God? It's weird. At first too, I used to be so uncomfortable with praying or just like talking out loud to myself or whatever, because like that's what you basically do when you're praying. You're like either by yourself or whatever. You can be talking in your head or like talking out loud like, Lord, please, or I pray this or pray that, whatever. Sometimes it can feel like you're talking to the air, talking to yourself out loud, whatever. But God hears you and he is there. He's always listening, and that's what I felt in that moment when that pastor was talking to me. Like he knew me, but he didn't really know me. It was God talking through him. And that's also how you can encounter God, is through other people. And so when you start to like learn who Jesus is and get in the Word, like in the Bible, and that's how you can really get discernment, which discernment is like having really good spiritual insight. It's the ability to tell the difference between what's right and wrong. It helps to kind of piece out what is God's voice and what is your own, kind of, if that makes any sense. Like ways that God has spoke to me has been sometimes just in my head. It'll just be a thought that I have, but it's not really my own thoughts. It's literally from God. And so I had this one moment, this was kind of recent. I was in the shower this whole day, like I was kind of like praying, and I was like, I really want to hear your voice. Like I feel like I don't hear you, or I feel like, you know, like I just feel like God's quiet. So I was praying in the shower about it even more, and what's crazy is just the random thought popped in my head, and it was Psalms. I'm pretty sure it was Psalms 15. Let me see. Let me look it up. Oh, it was Psalms 13. Yeah, a random thought popped in my head. I was in the shower, right, as I was praying. I was like, Psalms 13. Like, it just like, I was like, okay, Psalms 13. Is that what you're trying to tell me, Lord? Like, that my answer? Like, it's like an unexplainable feeling. I knew it wasn't from me because like, how did that just pop in my head? After the shower, I went in my Bible and I looked up Psalms 13. And Psalms 13 is prayer where the writer is feeling down and asks God for help. They're wondering how long God will seem far away. And by the end, they trust that God will come through. Basically, at the end of my Bible, it has like these margins, kind of like a summary of what that page is talking about. It said why God sometimes seems quiet, or like something like that. And so that blew me away, because in that moment I was literally praying about like, why can't I hear you, whatever. That was a big moment for me as well, how I heard from God. The major first time was I mainly got really deep in my faith after my relationship. I was dating someone. It just really taught me my morals, kind of, and really showed me what I need to be looking for. And so personally, I'm waiting for marriage. You know, I have boundaries. I always have, even before like I was very like close with God, and I've just always been that way. And now that since I've grown deeper in my faith, I thank God for that, because I realized ever since I've gotten closer with him, those times he was protecting me. All the times that I look back on and I'm like, why didn't I get that? Why didn't I do that? Same for my social media. I've been doing social media since I literally could remember. I would post videos of me doing my nails or like tutorials. I would just always be in front of the camera trying to sing, dance, do whatever it is, entertain people. I always loved making people laugh. I still do. Making people laugh and just putting a smile on someone's face, and like being that light in someone's life is like so important to me. And it's just, who wouldn't want to be that light? Who doesn't want to be that hope for someone? everyone wants a purpose. Everyone in this world wants and longs for love and compassion and a home. Everyone in their hearts yearns for that, and that is what God is. He is love, and that's what I grew to learn about Jesus and how beautiful the gospel is. And so going back to the relationship that I had, I was really struggling in that because at that time I was still going to church and everything, but at that time I was very stagnant a bit. I still struggle with this because what you're called to do as a Christian and as a Christ follower is to share your faith and to share the good news on what Jesus did on that cross for everyone and what he did for humanity. And so I still struggle with that in like, telling it to other people or showing it to other people because, you know, it feels awkward. Like, it's awkward to talk about deep stuff. Everyone these days, I feel like, just hold back a lot of stuff, aren't very vulnerable or like opening up. A lot of people have hardened hearts where it's hard to express feelings, or if you show emotion, it's perceived as weak or like not good enough. But we're literally human. We're made to have these emotions and feelings, and our purpose in this life is literally for love. And so with that experience, it was a big thing for me. I was like driving, I was breaking down in tears, and I was like, I don't know what to do because this is like the first time I've been in like a relationship and stuff. It was just all new to me, and it was very overwhelming. And at that time, I was like battling between my flesh and with God, and like my spirit with God. At that time, I was like driving and I was like, Lord, like, I don't know what is happening. Like, what is going on? I need help. And literally in that moment, I heard him tell me that that was his test for me. That was his test for me. You know, it was something to learn from. My belief is that because sometimes you get people in your lives and you're like, this person's either gonna hurt me or be like the best person in my life. They're either a lesson or a blessing, which is so true. That was my lesson in that relationship, and that is also what brought me closer to God because it showed me kind of what was right and what was wrong. That too, literally, like, it helped my faith a lot. There's a big question also. A bigger question could also be like, where do we go when we die? I used to think about that all the time because like my grandpa died. I witnessed my grandpa collapsing when I was 14 in middle school, and he had a heart attack. And so that was a very traumatizing moment for me. I don't really want to get into that, but so yeah, I've dealt with death before. It was very weird. Like, I don't know how to describe it because I was young. Like, I do remember it a lot, and like visiting him in the hospital and everything and thinking he's gonna be okay, like kind of like joking in a sense, having that childlike mentality where it's like, oh, he's in the hospital, but he's gonna be okay, and like not really having the realization of the reality of it. Like, I always knew there was a heaven, like everyone goes to heaven, like that's what I thought, but it's so much deeper than that. It's so much deeper than that. Still struggle, like everyone struggles with the knowledge. Like, no one knows where they're gonna go when they die. I mean, being as a Christ follower, you know where you're gonna be. You have that faith and you just know, but there will never be an answer for everything. Don't know. You just don't know. And there's so many other religions out there as well too. That's like a whole another thing as well. With like a lot of research and everything like in the world literally mentions Jesus Christ, and how like some of them are like he's just a prophet or like this and that, and has other ideas of him and whatever. But I'm not an expert. I'm literally fairly new to this. I'm like just starting, getting in the whole chapter of Proverbs. I'm trying to finish the whole chapter right now, but I really don't know much about like the Bible. Like, I don't know much about like the word, but from what I've learned and like I know about Christ in that relationship I have been building recently, I know him, and that has helped a lot with like that mindset, you know? And so I don't know, I think there's just so much to it. Like, I don't know, I don't want to make this video so long. I could literally go on and yap about this for like a whole bunch of different reasons and sides. It's a crazy world, and I love talking about this stuff, and it's just so interesting to me. And so that's why I started this channel. And yeah, and God really put it on my heart too as well, because I've been doing social media for so long, but yet I haven't been big. Like, a little background story. My other channel channel that I have, one of the videos, I was in middle school, I did like an iPhone unboxing thing, and that got like almost 1 million views, so that's kind of like what jump started it. I started filming and everything, doing videos after that and posting on like Musical.ly, TikTok, all that. But I was never really consistent because I did get bullied. I got bullied for it, so like I wasn't really consistent like, you know, the YouTubers you would see in like 2020 or like back then, you know. And if I was consistent, I probably would have been in a way different place that I am today. But I am thankful for that. So I'm grateful because now it's led me here, where now, since I always wanted to be an influencer and like do content creation, now I can lean that towards faith-based content creation. And I really think that's kind of like what God is calling me to, and like being an influencer and influencing the young and literally whoever. I am starting to work with kids, and I do want to work with kids too, because that's really important to me, because the young kids are literally our future. And so I think that's really important too. But yeah. So I know it is a different setting. My camera did die the other day when I was filming this, so I'm just gonna finish it up and wrap it up here because I don't want to make this too long, but I'm also gonna continue this channel with making probably like longer and longer like videos, depending on how this channel like turns out. We're just gonna see how it goes. But I want to wrap this video up with talking about identity and like feeling lost. You might think you have it all figured out, but you don't. And you never really know what could happen. Like, you could die today, you could die tomorrow. Stop living your life with all these distractions while you're sitting here complaining, why isn't my life the way I want it to be? Not everything works out. Like, you can't control everything in your life. You can't control the world. You can't control what happens. God is in control. You have to trust in Him. And when you learn and build that relationship with Him, it makes things in life so much easier and peaceful. He is peace. Jesus is peace. He will help you and guide you through life. He has a purpose for you. You just need to build that relationship and truly find Him, because it will change your life. And most of the time, what we are wanting and what we think we need isn't always what we need. And it isn't what God calls you for or what God knows, because God knows you more. God knows you better than you know yourself. He knows every hair on your head. He created you. Like, how could you not want to get to know Him? How could you not want to get to know your Creator? Sit back and complain about how horrible your life is, or using all these distractions but still feeling that like void, because we all have that void in us. We all have that unfulfillingness in us that only God can fill. And so when we're out here looking for all these other things and distractions to fill that void, it never works out and it will never fill you. Whatever relationship you're putting all your effort in, it could be work, it could be a goal you're going towards, whatever it is, if God's not in the center of it, there's no point. It's meaningless. I read this part in, I think it was like Ecclesiastes. It was like, what's the difference between wise and the fools? We all end up the same way. We all die. And so the difference is, when having God, that's what the whole point is, putting God in the center of your life. That's what can change and truly show you the beauty and point of life, which is love. That's what God is. That's what Jesus is love. That's what I've grown to learn about Him. I just really want to use this platform to encourage people to, you know, build that relationship, kind of like help fill that void in your life. Just come to God. He doesn't care. You don't try to get clean before going into the shower. You get cleaned in the shower. Come to God how you are. He will change you in ways you don't even realize in the moment, but like by pursuing Him and putting Him in the center of your life, it will change your life and you wouldn't even realize it until like you see all the fruits of your life and how fruitful your life is. He has changed your life for the better, because all He wants is the best for all of us, because He created us. And yeah, that is gonna be it for the video. I think that's everything I wanted to cover. I will probably do a separate video of all the instances I had in my life that God has moved in my life, because there's so many things that I could like talk about. I wanted to make this channel because I have so much things to talk about and I'm just very passionate about it. So yeah, all my social medias will also be in the description below. I really hope this helps someone, and I really encourage you guys, you just have to humble yourself. Humble yourself and realize that you need something outside of yourself to help get through this life. But yeah, you guys are so loved. Jesus loves you, and I hope you guys will subscribe and follow me along this journey. Goodbye.